My name is Maria Kiefer, and I am a member of the HeFDI Coordination Office at the University of Marburg. And very briefly about HeFDI itself. HeFDI is the federal state initiative Hessian research data structures. We have been working for some time to establish and operate federated services for handling research data and corresponding infrastructures. We do that with a rather high level of synergies across the entire federal state. We are 11 universities that are working together, and we are developing and operating corresponding services and such as consulting services or repositories. And this also includes the HeFDI Data Talks. They are a bi-weekly series of events in which we address and discuss current issues and offerings in the area of data and software management and infrastructure. The materials are published afterwards, which is also why this talk is being recorded. And if you have an idea or a topic that you would like to hear a HeFDI Data Talk on, please get in touch and let us know. We really like your input and try to get it into the next program. So today we will start with the presentation, and then we will open the discussion. Feel free to note down your questions in the chat in between, and you can also raise your hand and ask on the go. Our speaker is fine with that. You can ask in English or German. We'll manage in both languages. And today the talk focuses on the results of the project EverFDM that translates to development and dissemination of research data management at universities of applied sciences. And this project provides us with a comprehensive overview of the state of research data management at this type of universities. I am very happy to introduce my HeFDI colleague, Robert Werth, from the Frankfurt University of Applied Sciences, as today's speaker. He is an empirical sociologist with many years of experience in conducting large survey studies, and he has also published research data in cooperation with data centers organized in Consort SVD, not FDW. He has worked at the Research Center of Demographic Change, FZDW, since 2015, with a main focus on questionnaire development and data management. And in EverFDM, the project we're talking about today, he was responsible for the coordination of the project and the administration of the online survey. Since 2019, he is also the RDM officer at the Frankfurt University of Applied Sciences, and thus part of HeFDI. And furthermore, he coordinates the BMBF project Gesund FDM, which develops research data management support for the health and care-related sciences. Enough of the preface. Robert, we are very much looking forward to your input. And I'd say the floor is yours.
Thanks, Maria, for the very warm welcome. Happy to share our results of the study with you. Yeah, we're talking about the EverFDM project. The project director, Professor Dr. Andreas Klocke, who's also the CEO of the Research Center of Demographic Change, and I coordinated the project and did the online survey. And my colleague Anela Balic did the discussion rounds, but more on that later on. First of all, I want to share some info about the context of the study, why we did this actually, and that was because, yeah, as we all know, research data management is becoming increasingly important in the science system. And there are numerous activities that are happening that are creating like services and trainings and infrastructure and whatnot, NFDI, state initiatives, also the data competence centers and all that good stuff that is happening at the moment. To support this change in culture towards a more, open and fair handling of research data. But, and here's the but, we don't know so much about the problems and the needs of the actual researchers who are supposed to, do the research data management. And this is true for universities and universities of applied sciences, especially if we're talking, scientifically reliable insights on what's happening and what the issues are. If surveys that are being carried out usually have only few participants, and also the special situation of the universities of applied sciences is not taken into account. So we wanted to change that, and thankfully there was a funding program by the BMBF called Reuse and Management of Research Data, especially at universities of applied sciences. And so we were happy to get this research project funded. Maybe some of you don't know or are not so familiar with the universities of applied sciences and the special situation that we are in here. So I'm just going to briefly talk about that. Universities of applied sciences are traditionally more focused on teaching. Also, professors need to do 18 hours per week of teaching compared to 9 hours at other universities. So it's traditionally more training, like a higher education training for the job than a focus on the science itself. It's also true that less than 1% of the research funds granted by the DFG go to universities of applied sciences. So there's a really big difference in funding as well. Most universities of applied sciences have hardly any academic mid-level staff. So like PhD candidates, there are only a few states where you can actually get your PhD at a university of applied sciences. Hesse is one of these states, thankfully, so we have a couple more than in other states. But there is interesting research still happening at the universities of applied sciences also, especially because we're, like as the name says, oriented towards application, and we carry out many joint projects with like commercial businesses and also local governments. So yeah, there is quite a bit of data treasure to be found at universities of applied sciences. And so, yeah, research data management is also something good to be happening at universities of applied sciences. So with our study, we had 3 goals. First of all, we wanted to get an overview of the state of RDM at universities of applied sciences in Germany for the first time ever. So a nationwide survey is something that hasn't been done before, for other universities in Germany as well. And we wanted to know especially 3 things. So RDM awareness. Do the researchers know what this research data management actually is? Are they practicing it? What are their current practices concerning this research data management? And what are their needs and demands to better manage their data. And also, if they're not doing it, why don't they do it? And which approaches can we seem good to resolve this situation, to make them share their data more openly, share their data in a fair and documented way. What are the services that they actually need? Then we also wanted to provide the participating universities with specific result reports. If you are from one of those universities that participated in the study, you won't have to wait much longer. In 1 or 2 weeks, I am sure that we can finish up the university-specific reports. So they will come soon, I promise. And also, in these reports, we wanted to have them comparable on a national level. So, how did we go about this? Well, we had 2 parts of our study. The one part was an online questionnaire that was meant to be a full population survey at all 210 non-private universities of applied sciences in Germany. So we contacted all of them, contacted the RDM staff and the university administration, and had them or asked them to send the link on to their researchers. So yeah, our target group obviously is researchers, meaning professors, research assistants, PhD students, and the like. And of the 210 universities of applied sciences that we contacted, 109 responded, or we got responses from 109 of these universities, and a total of 2,145 researchers responded. Since we're in Hesse, also have the number for Hesse here, 214. So we reached our goal in being the biggest study on RDM in Germany as of yet. Hopefully we will see more of this in the future, but for now we have the largest numbers of participants for our survey. And the second part, which also dives more into the problems and solutions and the why and how, was the discussion rounds. So these were 5 discussion rounds that we did with participants ranging from 4 to 7 people who were discussing different topics on RDM, and if researchers are doing it, if they're not doing it, why are they not doing it, and how can we get them to do it? And the participants there were RDM professionals from the university administration, meaning RDM officers, RDM scouts, and the like. Also, we had representatives from the NFDI, from state initiatives, and from further RDM institutions like repositories, to have like a broad kind of overview and to get as many viewpoints as possible into these rounds. I think some of the participants are actually here, but I won't tell you who. So first of all, we're going to talk about the sample, like who were the respondents. As I said, like research assistants and PhD candidates, there are not so many at universities of applied sciences. And accordingly, 63% of our respondents are actually professors. I looked at another study on RDM, which was done at universities, and they had 28% professors. So yeah, it's that fits well with the population, I would say. And also, where do they come from? What subjects they have? Most of them come from the engineering sciences. Yeah, which also strengthens the fact that we are application oriented, so engineering plays a big role at universities of applied sciences, and also the participants of our study. Yeah, the questions and answer texts that you see here were actually was surveyed in German and translated into English for this presentation. So the original questions were in German. But yeah, let's dive into our three topics: RDM awareness, RDM activities, and RDM demands. First of all, let's see if researchers are aware of RDM, what RDM is. So we asked them first if they know these guidelines, like the FAIR principles. I would say the main guideline for RDM, and it's not looking so good. Only 25% say they know what the FAIR principles are, and yeah, also like internationally, the RDM and open science requirements in Horizon Europe, also only 24%, and if you dive more into specific sets of guidelines like the CARE principles or the data literacy charta, yeah, hardly any researchers know it. What is pretty well known are the guidelines for safeguarding good research practice by the DFG. This our researchers know. Everything that is like more targeted really towards research data management, they don't know so very well. Same goes for the institutions who do RDM or who provide RDM services and support, like the RDM community. The NFDI, 22% know it, the RDA, 20%, and then state initiatives, even less, 18%, or on the European level, even less, and the Rat für Informationsinfrastrukturen is only 4%, even though what that is. So yeah, they just have not heard about it. And yeah, so we could say that awareness of RDM is pretty low with researchers in universities of applied sciences, which was also reflected in the answers in the discussion rounds. So yeah, they say that raising awareness for this topic is really what needs to be done at the moment. So you really need to start at the beginning. This is not only true for the researchers themselves, but also for the university management. So even the presidents, chancellors, vice presidents really are not so aware of what is happening in the landscape. And what they also say is, that this won't happen overnight. Raising attention, raising awareness for this is something that will take a long while to get everyone on the same page. Also, when we look at more specific things like persistent identifiers, here the ORCID ID. On the one hand, 44% say they already have an ORCID ID, which is not so surprising to me, because this is not only relevant for research data, but also for text publications, and everything that is also relevant for text publications. I got the impression from the study that this is something that is more well known. The more specific the topics are targeted towards RDM, the lesser they are really known. And even with the ORCID IDs, 33% say they don't even know what it is. Then, as I said, if you look at RDM-specific topics, and this is like data management plans are a very important part of our landscape, and there 63% have not even heard about data management plans or know what data management plans are. So this is really impressive in a maybe not so good way. But the most impressive figure, I think, that's really, I would say almost shocking to me was when we asked, did you know that you can actually get additional funding for your RDM? So if you want to do RDM, you can, get money for it. 82% of the researchers said, no, I did not know that I can get additional funding for RDM. See this again. 82%. That's still baffles me. And is something that, we really need to work on. So, awareness is one thing, activities is another, because it's also possible that the researchers don't know about RDM, but they just do management. Everybody does research data management in one way or another, but they don't explicitly call that, because it's just part of their research practices, of their normal research practices. But when we talk about research data management, we mean specific things like data publication and data documentation, and using specific software to better analyze and prepare data. So we wanted to look at the activities and meaning what we consider research data management that don't necessarily need to be called that by the researchers. That was also why in the survey we hardly ever spoke of research data management or used the terminology. We really wanted to use a kind of general terminology. Like we don't say research data management, we say handling of research data for the most part. But if we look at the figures, what they're doing, like are they archiving their data after a project has finished? We can see, like we ask them, how long do you keep the research data after the project has finished? And on the one hand, we can see that the 10-year threshold postulated by the DFG is something that is in the minds of the researchers. They know this, and they, like 30% say that they actually archive it for exactly these 10 years. But on the other hand, like the biggest chunk here of the pie is don't know. They have no idea how long they keep their research data. So there's no strategy at all for preservation. And yeah, that's 40% is pretty high, I would say. And also, if you then ask, have you ever put your research data in a data archive or repository, something that we as RDM people advocate, yeah, 80% have not done it, and 46% even say they did not know it was even possible to archive the data in a special data repository or data archive. So yeah, lots of room for improvement. Then we asked a couple of other things, and if you asked if there was a person primarily responsible for the data management, then at least, almost 40% said, yeah, there was a person that was responsible for the data management. But yeah, if you look at the RDM specific things like data management plans, for example, or metadata standards, yeah, it's very, very low number of people who say, yeah, we do use data management plans, or I have used in my current or last project a data management plan. Yeah, and why is that? From our discussion rounds, we got the answer, well, the aversion to do additional work is very, very high. So, and yeah, that's what RDM is usually viewed as by many researchers as additional work. And of course, they don't want to do that. Like making your data fair, making it reusable for other researchers is hard work, and if they don't need to do it, they just won't. Which also tells us that, yeah, at some point we may need to communicate more the advantages, and that good research data management can actually save you time and is not always additional work, but is sometimes, especially in data preparation, can also make your work more effective. Yeah, and also, like, as I said, at Universities of Applied Sciences, we focus on teaching. So we also wanted to know if research data management or data literacy play a role in the teaching. And the answer is not really. So about half say it doesn't play a role at all in their teaching. And these are people, mainly professors, who do research and also do teaching. And I say, no, doesn't play a role at all. And the other half, almost the other half, says, yeah, the courses deal with professional handling of data, but they don't call it research data management or data literacy. And yeah, those who say that they explicitly focus on RDM or data literacy is only 6%. So yeah, negligible, I would say. Yeah, and on the other hand, if you look at the discussion rounds and what people say needs to happen, we heard a lot that it is very important to get RDM into teaching, to start early, give the new generation of researchers the tools to do this well, to share their research with others, to have it reusable, so that scientific results can be validated, yeah, and also reused by others. Okay, so we have established that researchers are, for the most part, not really aware of RDM. They don't do so much of the stuff that we want them to do in RDM. So now is the question, why? What do they need to to actually do research data management? And for me, it was interesting to see that the first thing they said, or that what most of them said, like the first thing was not resources. It was not, I need staff, I need money, I need more time to do this. But the first thing, or what was said by most people, was actually training and or consulting. So teach them how to do it, what they need to do in this case. And after that, not surprisingly, the resources, employees, money, and time. And then the other thing that they said was, standards, templates, and best practices. And this was like if you ask people about their needs on any topic in a standardized survey, you always have the problem, how do you ask this? If you ask it openly, you might not get the answers that you want, meaning they can talk about completely different things that than you want them to talk about. But if you have closed questions where they can mark a scale or something, then it's a problem that you might actually generate the needs or demands by asking these specific questions. If you asked, do you want this tool, this tool, this tool, then they said, oh yeah, of course I want this tool and this tool and this tool, but they might end up not using it. So what we did in HeFDI was, combine both. We first asked them openly, what do you need? And these were the top three, we coded the responses, and these were the top three categories that they answered in. This was also, the part about training and consultation being the most important was also reflected by the group discussions. They said, yeah, researchers want consultation, and they need the consultation even before, they can actually think about, wanting to use RDM tools. But then we also ask them about different topics that are relevant in research data management. And formed a demand, RDM demand indicator from that. So we first asked them, how important is this topic in your research? And had a scale from not important at all to very important. And then afterwards, we asked them, how much knowledge do you have about this topic? And also this went from no knowledge at all to very much knowledge. And what you see here is the dark blue is the percentage of people who said, yeah, this is somewhat important or very important in my research. And they have no or only little knowledge of this topic. So this is really the where they need to have more knowledge, where they want more knowledge. And then what you can also see from here is the overall or like this is the further bar where you can see this is important, but I already have a lot of knowledge about this. And yeah, the topics that are discussed most or where the biggest insecurities lie are long-term preservation, data publication, and reuse. Like these are like everything that goes on about archiving and publication of data, and also all the aspects that or many aspects that are concerning law. So copyright, especially copyright and data protection. These are also very important things where researchers have really high needs. And if you look at documentation, this is also very important. Like almost 80% say it's very important in their work, but most of them also say that they already have a lot of knowledge. Same goes for collaborative work with external partners. So there they think they know what they're doing. Some of the topics that we as RDM people like are not deemed very important by the researchers, especially electronic lab notebooks and data management plans. These are like the services that we like to offer, but the researchers themselves only have a low demand for these tools, according to our study. And I need to look at the time that we can also have a bit of a discussion. What we also asked them about is specific software. And then we asked how often would you use this software if your university would provide a license for it. And again, the ELNs and the DMP software don't fare very well compared to other things like repositories or cloud services, and that was very surprising to me, project management software. So this is something that they would really like and what could improve their handling of research data. What you can also see, that's the lower bar here, is the researchers that say that a license already exists at the university, and you see like cloud services or sync and share services are usually or for many researchers are already there at the university. Same goes for reference management software like Citavi or Zotero. So this is something that most universities of applied sciences already have, it seems. But yeah, repositories is something that they want, and project management software also, which yeah was very surprising to me actually. Yeah, so to sum up the results of our study, yeah, it seems that RDM still has a low priority for most of the researchers at universities of applied sciences. So what we need to do is raise awareness of RDM first and foremost. And we should do this by communicating the advantages, how RDM can really benefit the researchers in their research. Otherwise, they will just not do it. And also, when we have raised awareness, we need to provide them with trainings and consultation. Yeah, but in general about what RDM is, but also and especially concerning the legal issues in RDM. And then we can focus on the infrastructure, and yeah, if it's not already there, cloud services or sync and share services, repositories are pretty important, and yeah, as I said, project management software. And what was also a big part of what we talked about in the discussion rounds is if you want a sustainable new generation of researchers who really do RDM, you need to integrate this into teaching, into the curricula, so that already the students know about this and yeah, have an idea about it. And also the last and also very important take-home message from the discussion rounds was that at the end of the day, the researchers want someone at their institution to go to for consultation, for training, just to have a local person there that they can talk to when they have issues concerning RDM, when they want to do an application for research funds, and who tells them what they need to do. Yeah, thank you very much.